the city-run shelter, we have a responsibility to our citizens and to the animals that live within this community to give them the best chance they possibly have. Every animal deserves a second chance, regardless of how we found them, who they came from, and how they came to us. And right now, with our current triage setup, we're not able to give them the best chance at their second chance. I've been at the shelter for roughly 15 years, and even in the last 10 years, what we expect and what our community expects of the shelter has changed tremendously. So before, the community was okay with us just doing some vaccines and maybe getting some spay-neuter things done on our adoption animals. That's no longer the case at this point. National standards in sheltering have increased tremendously, so it's something that we still need to meet national standards and community expectations, and those are so much different than they were from just 10 years ago. The layout that we currently have was only meant to support us through about 2010, so we're 8 years past that at this point.
Our current triage or surgical suite wasn't even in existence when the building was built. It was designed to actually be a intake room, if you will, for animals coming in over the counter. So shoving a surgery table and all of its equipment into this room that was in essence an office really isn't conducive to practical medicine.
Simply put, for triage, we don't have the space or capacity to get done everything that we need to get done on a daily basis.
We're limited in how efficient we can be right now.
We don't have a confidential area to perform necropsies in, therefore they're done in the middle of triage with people walking through.
We also struggle a little bit with keeping the surgery, the operating room environment as clean and aseptic as we'd like to. We have animal care staff and control officers coming in all throughout the day, bringing in animals to be looked at or doing procedures on them. We even at times will have members of the public in here, either looking for a lost pet or doing a viewing on a deceased pet, and it's kind of all in the same area where we're trying to either do surgery or medical procedures.
When we brought in the hoarding case, the only space I had available in the entire shelter, because we were so full, I only had my office to use.
We have just one anesthesia machine.
We have one prep table, one surgery table.
We are still sending animals off-site to accomplish the spay-neuter piece of our adoption program.
I think we're kind of reaching that maximum potential with what we can do, and we would always be kind of handicapped with how much we can do just with those limitations.
What we want to do is be able to move the animals more quickly through surgery, through their medical processes, which will reduce the amount of time before they're available to go on to their next stage in life. The elements of the triage remodel are essentially to expand and create a real surgery area.
A proper prep surgery area, 2 tables. We're going to make a proper actual surgery center, 2 tables.
While I'm doing a surgery, they would be able to, in the prep area, get the next patient under anesthesia, get them their surgery site clipped and prepped, and even move them into the operating room onto the alternate table, so that when I complete a surgery, I can basically just change my gloves and get a new pack and get started again. And then that same team would be able to take the animal that just had surgery out and get them into the recovery area.
It's going to run like a little hospital, and that's what we need.
Investigations are something that maybe we don't talk a lot about with our community, but they are so important.
Over the last 35 years, we have, along with several social service agencies, found a direct link between human and animal violence. And what we're finding is that most cases of domestic violence or battery issues like that started with an animal. So if we can stop that process, cut off that circle of violence right at the beginning, that's going to be important.
The necropsies help us determine what happened to the animal, and it gives a voice to that voiceless creature.
It's such a delicate process, and it is something that can be hard to see So privacy is a really big thing that we would like to provide.
We don't have an appropriate space to determine what happened to an animal. And without being able to identify what happened to an animal, we can't take those abusers to court. And of course, not being able to take them to court continues that circle of violence.
You know, I think that this is a very practical renovation in terms of what it can do. It should result in real numbers in terms of an increased number of pets that we can see and help on a daily basis, and it should improve the quality of care that we're able to provide to those pets. So, you know, whenever you're able to improve, you know, quality and quantity with something, I think it makes a lot of sense.
We're doing everything in our power to give them a second chance. What happens in this room impacts the entire shelter and our entire community. It seems like a small project, but the impact will be profound.